Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, update on my cruise, we're trying to outrun a hurricane in the middle of the Atlantic, as well as we have some news on the Icon of the Seas, how her repairs are coming along after having to cancel a cruise. An update on Villa V Odyssey, as it finally left Belfast because it started to sail and then had to stop a few miles down the coast. And of course we also have the cruise ship in Norway that broke loose of its moorings and had to be tugged back into position. See if anything happened with that. Today's video is brought to you by private internet access. Well, here I am in London, England, everybody, and last night I said I want to finish watching my show that I want to watch on TV. And I clicked on the computer and no sirree, it said these shows are unavailable in London, England, but I have private internet access, clicked the button, logged in, said I was back in Canada, and lo and behold, I was able to continue watching the series that I've been watching and following this week. That's one of the big benefits of having a VPN when you're traveling. But you know the other benefit is it keeps your personal information safe. It keeps your information away from people who are looking to do nefarious things to it. Steal your identity, steal your money, get into your accounts, basically ruin your life. And that's what a VPN does. It makes it look like you're in a different country. It makes it hard to track down and it hides your information. And that's one of the best reasons to have a VPN. But why did I choose private internet access? Well, how about the fact that they don't even store my personal information like some other VPNs do, and that's exactly what I want. I don't want anybody to have my information, even the company that I'm paying to hide my information. I don't want them to have my information, so that's a good thing. Not only that, they can do unlimited devices on the same plan. Not just one, not two, not 10, not 20. I can do all my devices all under the exact same plan at no extra cost. So yes, always use a VPN. So if you would like to use a VPN, so why not follow my link down below where you can get 83% off your subscription plus 4 months free. Thanks again to Private Internet Access for sponsoring this video. First off, let's talk about the Caribbean Princess, the cruise I was just on, my last cruise with Tony in Norway. Sorry, not Norway, that's where it is now, but we were off into Greenland and Iceland. Well, it was in Norway, and with high winds, etc. in the port, it ended up breaking away from its moorings and started to coast out into the open water. Well, luckily, the crew reacted immediately and very, very quickly, dropped the anchor and steadied the ship, turned on had the engines going, and no damage was done to any other current vessels in the area. Everybody on board was safe. Now, the gangplanks that were out actually did end up partially submerged in the water. Luckily, nobody was on them at the time that this happened, and everybody on board is safe and sound, and all the crew members and dock workers are also safe. A tugboat was called in and the Caribbean Princess was escorted back into position and re-tied off. So good news there. They did as I expect all cruise lines will do, acted really swiftly, professionally, and nobody ended up getting hurt with that situation. Also, we have the Icon of the Seas had to cancel its current sailing because of engine difficulties and problems, and gave everybody future cruise credits as well as their money back. Very costly shutdown for Royal Caribbean. But the good news is for people who are anxiously waiting about the next sailing, it will go as scheduled. The repairs are complete, and so there should be no further disruption or interruption in the itinerary, and everyone will be all set to go on your next Icon of the Seas cruise. Great news there. Glad that all got fixed in a timely manner. I guess shutting down for the week was necessary, and they got it done for what they had to do. So that's good news. Speaking of good news, Villa V had brought their passengers on September 30th and said, here we go, we're finally going, guys. It's been 4 months exactly to the day we were supposed to originally start sailing, And they pulled out of port and they're heading down, and they had to pull over. They got a call and said, there's still some paperwork you guys need to get completed before you're allowed to leave with passengers, and they had to anchor off the dock. And some people, some of the newscasts out there were being kind of brutal with Villavie, as some pictures in the news were showing the ferry going by the Villavie ship that was anchored outside of the port, and making comments like, currently the the ferry is going further than Villavie ever has between towns, and so they weren't very good. But guess what? Finally, on October 3rd, the ship finally has left Belfast and is currently starting her 3.5-year, possibly lifelong journey around the world. And I imagine the passengers are celebrating finally once that anchor got lifted and they got off and running, and everybody is ecstatic to finally be doing it. Let's hope there's no more Villavie updates other than, hey, they're in this port having fun, or this is happening. We don't want to hear any bad news like, yeah, we went to our first port and the engines broke down again, or something like those. I'm wishing them all the best. Let's go, get on your 3.5-year journey and just have the time of your lives. Next, yeah, let's talk about what we're doing here in the middle of the Atlantic and Hurricane Kirk that is trying to cut across our bow on the way into Fort Lauderdale. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with all things cruising, from the ship repairs to the ship's delays to the new ships coming online to everything, including hurricane weather that might interrupt or disrupt your current cruise. I hope to keep you here entertained. I hope to keep you informed as best I can. And all we do is talk about the good, the bad of cruising. And I try and give you the fairest perspective as I possibly can and have a little fun along the way. I hope you'll join us. And it really doesn't cost anything. It just click that button for subscribe and says to YouTube, people like cruising videos, and they share it to more people. That's all it really does, but it really helps the channel out. All right. Again, oh, and I really do appreciate it, by the way. I really, really do. Okay, we are currently on our way to Fort Lauderdale. We have left Spain and the Canary Islands, and there's a hurricane that has been aiming towards the United States like this and now is curving back up and heading to Europe. It's called Hurricane Kirk. It is currently a Category 4 hurricane, and we are feeling the wind effects a bit of that hurricane. The ship is rocking from the wind, not the sea. The sea is relatively calm for the Atlantic Ocean. Like, it's always a little rocky in the Atlantic Ocean, but it's relatively calm. The weather looks relatively nice, but the hurricane is still looming, and we have changed directions a couple times. Captain Street, the captain of the Sun Princess, has been keeping us updated, and we have changed course a couple times, and now we have actually increased our speed, and we'll probably arrive in Fort Lauderdale earlier as we try and get ahead of the hurricane and away from the rough seas as best we can. So again, that's one of those things that can happen at any time. This is an 8-day crossing that, 8 sea days in a row, and we're on day 4 of the sea days. So basically just over halfway now. And now we have to monitor this hurricane and cut down lower than we were planning on doing. They always do the curvature of the Earth, which is the shortest possible distance. But because of the hurricane, we've had to change directions. Luckily, we have given ourselves a lot of time to make this crossing. A lot of ships do it in 6 days. We were giving ourselves 8 days to get across, and the captain has been updating us on a regular basis every day. I'll show you the videos, the pictures here. You can see here's our current location as of around 8 a.m. this morning, and you can see where the hurricane is crossing and the angle it's working at. So, and remember, the hurricane isn't just that little dot. It affects a wide, hundreds of kilometers and miles wide as it's going, not to mention the currents, etc., that's happening. So, yep, we are on hurricane watch here on the Sun Princess as we're crossing, but the captain and the crew are keeping us out of most of the bad weather, at least so far. Fingers crossed we can keep our maneuvering the best it can. Well, let me know, are you guys happy to see Villavi finally set sail? And do you think they're going to be able to go at least up about 6 or 7 months before any real issues pop up on the ship? I really hope so. They've been through enough. I think those passengers have absolutely been through enough. And great news that the Icon of the Seas engines are now repaired and everyone can enjoy their next cruise. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.